And what's happening? Everything. I'm looking at my sound here, making sure everything is where it should be. We got a hot topic tonight. I'm trying to stay calm because I was thinking about this all day, and I tried to make an outline, but I just seem to have forgotten how to do that. So what started as an outline ended up being like a novel. So I don't know how this is gonna go because every time I say, "Oh yeah, I need to make sure I say this," I might have to go. So it's kind of long. I'll try to keep it down to the 90 minutes though. Hello, everyone. Those of you who have teenage daughters or you're young women yourselves, you don't even have to be in your teens. Your 20s is still, some people are still dealing with these issues in their 20s and 30s, but it starts in childhood. And those of you who are parents of teens, those of you who are teens, like I got my little teen from Twitch that be coming up in here. Um, Oh, good. Sound is good. Psh, perfect. I tried to adjust it this time and double check it. I don't know what happened yesterday. I swear I never touch any settings, but somehow it's like the L's come in and just tear my shit up. But what I want to talk about today is well, I mean, boys might learn something from it too, but this is primarily directed at young females because of the socialization that women get, which is vastly different from men. And as I go through this, you'll see how most this really doesn't apply to guys really much at all. I will be referencing some male behaviors and attitudes, but as far as the lessons that I'm going to be talking about and the things that need to be learned, I'm directing these towards females. Now, for those of you who may be new to the channel, it looks like I see a lot of familiar names, but I'm sure there'll be some different ones. You know, you guys, please share the link real quick on your Twitter or your Facebook accounts. Invite young women, particularly those 30 and under, to the chat because this is for them because they haven't quite, most of them haven't quite found their voice yet, as you have witnessed from the dozens and dozens and dozens of advice letters that you have listened to on What the Fuck Tuesday and What the Fuck Wednesday. So you know, I'm not making this up. We have the proof that goes along with it that this is something that we really need to talk about. Now, how this got started. Go on, share them links. I must keep talking though. Um, the other day I was on Facebook. One of my, I like to lay in bed and play on my phone and just kind of see what's trending, what's going on, what's getting the most comments, what people are talking about that's getting a dander up. And what I found was a story. Now, the original story is from February this year because it pertained to a Valentine's Day dance, but the issue wasn't really resolved until almost in the fall when school came back into session. So let me tell you what I read. This was on CNN. There's an elementary school in Ogden, Utah, which held a sixth grade dance on Valentine's Day of every year. So sixth grade is what, 12? I mean, maybe some kids, anywhere between 11 and 13 years old, depending on when the child was born. Okay, so sixth grade. This dance, they say, is intended to promote inclusion and kindness, and students have traditionally been told by their teachers to say yes when a classmate asks them to dance. I'm fighting a cold. Okay, so that might not really sound so bad, but as you get into this, um, some little girl came home and told her mother that the school said that if some little boy asked her to dance, or even if a little girl asked her to dance, she had to say yes. They had this little card, and the kid put on there 5 names of people that they really wanted to dance with, right? Now, this isn't taking into account the person who they want to dance with. I mean, maybe this kid has been bullying this girl all year. Maybe this kid was overly sexual with this little girl all year. Maybe this kid was like, a snot-nosed little brat towards this girl all year. But suddenly, because it's Valentine's Day and the school says it, she has to dance with him. So the problem I had with this, a lot of parents had the same problem I did, although I have to tell you guys, I talked to some of my women friends about it, and let me tell you some of the stuff they said. They were like, well, I don't see this as a problem. It's teaching socialization and it's teaching, kids to be nice and cordial. Okay, that was one viewpoint. And I'm not criticizing this. I'm just saying I disagree. I'm just telling you what they said. Another one said, well, at that age, they have to learn how to say no and they have to learn to get along with people, and the girls have to learn to be nice. Okay, that's what one woman said. And then a mother of a son said, well, yeah, I can understand it because, the little boys get so rejected. They like the little girl, they just want to dance with her. And then, if she doesn't like him back, then she'll say no. And so I'm looking at this woman like, okay, and the problem with that is, so because your son likes some little girl, she's obligated to do what he wants, and that is the problem that I had with it. Starting at 11 to 13 years old, because this is whatever age group is in the sixth grade, these girls are already being taught by their school that they do not have autonomy over their own body. They don't have the right to say no. They don't have the right to make a choice about who they let be close to them into their personal space and who they let touch them, because they're going to play the fast dances, but they're going to play some kind of little slow dance too, even though they have chaperones and all that kind of stuff. So in that moment, the boy the little girl's dancing with is going to be all up on her. You know how that they like to do that. And basically it was just removing choice from these little girls, and this has been a tradition at this school for like decades. But finally people like woke up and were like, wait a minute, what the fuck is this? How you gonna tell my daughter she can't say no to some little boy? So okay, this is the mentality that we were dealing with. Okay, so then you start thinking about how this applies society wide, right? Because women are socialized to be pleasing, to be nice, to worry about men's egos, to say something that doesn't hurt his feelings, tell him in a way that doesn't hurt his feelings. So you get into these things where women are, or they don't have a voice. They sound weak, and they know they sound weak, and they're like, well, maybe, well, I don't know, I have to think about it. They're doing this placating little nonsense instead of just straight up telling the dude, no, hell no, that's not going to happen. No, get out of my face. No. Where the boys were advised to say, yeah, all the kids had to say yes. But the main problem, like I said, is the boys were not the ones they were filling out the dance card, but the little boys were the ones who were pushing for this. They were all the ones in favor of it, and the little girls' parents were the ones who were saying, "Well, wait a minute, this is sending our daughters the wrong message." So the boys' parents and the boys didn't seem to really have a problem with it. It was the girls and the girl problem, and not even all of them. Okay, so some of them were like, "No, this is fine. This is great." And I'm like, no, this is teaching sending your daughters the wrong message, that they don't have the right to say no to who touches their body and who gets close to them. You do not want to send that message to your daughters. And it starts actually even younger than that, when you start some old pervert ass uncle, your child don't want to touch him, or even one of them, like you got an aunt with a beard and all this old shit, and the little kids don't want nothing to do with that person, right? They don't, they go, come here and give me some sugar, they always say. And the little kid starts running in the other direction, and here you go as a parent. Come back here and give auntie so and so or uncle so and so some sugar, a kiss, a hug. So you're basically telling the child that they don't have any right to tell these people who can to decide who can touch them or not. But then you turn around and you talk about a good touch and a bad touch and stranger danger. I mean, you sending a mixed message here. Your child has to be able to decide who is going to touch him and when they're going to touch him and how they're going to touch him and where they're going to touch him. And you have no right to try to force them to do anything else. If your child runs away and says, I don't want to touch so and so, to kiss me, to touch me, to hold my hand, to pick me up, or whatever, you need to side with your child. Okay, stop with this. I see so many parents doing that. It just drives me crazy. I just want to say, do you realize the message that you're sending to your child? And then you're going to wonder why your child just sits there and let somebody abuse them without screaming or running and telling or fighting them on, because you've trained them to be so weak and to acquiesce to the demands of an adult. That you did that. So you got to stop with this shit and think deeper. Think more long term. Don't think about right now pleasing this auntie or pleasing this uncle. Fuck them. They'll get over it. This is about your child that learning that they have the right to set boundaries when it comes to their body. And you need to be in full support of that from the time they're infants on until adulthood when they do it themselves. You guys have got to think past this moment right here. You know? Women should be taught to die for their rights no matter what, or things will get worse. Well, it may come to that, but it's going to start with teaching girls the fact that they have the right to have a difference of opinion, that they don't have to be nice, and that they can say no. And that's what we're doing right now. This is the foundational lesson because they're not learning to say that they're weak and they give in, and they got adult women doing the same shit. No, so they're not sitting around fighting for their rights and to maintain their space against this trans movement and all this kind of stuff. They just sit there like sitting ducks and don't say nothing because they worried about hurting somebody's feelings. Oh no, Vanessa said that. Oh girl, that's terrible. I think it's a very important too. Let me see how you say that. The reader, okay, the reader from Twitch. I can tell it's the Twitch because it's purple. I think this is like I read this article and this show just came to me. And I've talked around these subjects, in various forms in dozens of videos. I mean, all this littered with advice questions and all that stuff. But this is a one topic video where I'm going to be addressing this concept that girls and women are here to please men and that we don't have a right to say no. So let me get started. My outline, like I said, was supposed to be bullet points, and then I start with putting in my points I want to make sure I made. So excuse me because it's going to sound like I'm reading some of it, and that's because I want to make sure I say everything that is on this paper. I've thought about this for the last 2 days. Okay, let me start with the definition of guilt because guilt is an important tool that parents as well as men use to coerce women and girls into giving them what they want. Guilt is the killer of female spirit. And I'm glad I figured that out when I was really young. I never feel guilty about shit I do. Because if I do it, if I said it, that means 99.9% of the time I intended to do it and I wanted to hurt your feelings and I don't feel sorry, so I don't feel guilty. Guilt comes when you think you've done something wrong, right? You think you're bad, you think you hurt somebody. If I said some fucked up shit to you, I wanted to hurt you. So instead of feeling guilty, what I feel is glee. It starts with a G too, but it's glee. That's what I feel, not guilt. Happy holidays as I'm talking about being mean to people. So, guilt, the fact of having committed a specified or implied offense or crime. Now, that doesn't mean that you did. It means that the person is implying that you did. So, they're trying to induce this feeling of guilt in you, right? Or themselves to make someone feel guilty, especially in order to induce them to do something. And that is the definition that we're going to focus on. So you got that right. Make someone feel guilty like they've committed a crime or an offense, especially in order to induce them to do something. Okay? So that's guilt. Oh, you had to grow into this. I had a lot of Jewish clients, and they used to tell me that that's part of the Jewish culture. And I just looked at I mean, they're making jokes or whatever. I don't know. When people start talking about their own ethnicity or religions or whatever, I don't say nothing. You ain't getting me caught in that. So I was just listening because and they would all say the same thing though. So I thought it was kind of interesting. All right, so let's move on. Now let's talk about the value of teaching no is a complete sentence to girls. The reason why this is important is because so many girls feel like they have to say no and then give a reason. They have to say no and give an excuse. You don't have to do shit but say no. And people be like, well, why not? Because I said so. That's the only reason you're going to get. That's me. But other people, well, because I have something to do that day and I don't think I'll be done in time and and then I have to meet my and they start going through this long-winded explanation, which as I will point out later is the wrong tactic because what you're doing then is you're continuing to converse with this person. So they're wanting some attention. They're wanting something from you, right? Attention, your time, whatever. And by you offering this long-winded excuse, you're continuing to give to them. They're still getting your time and your attention. If you have no interest in this individual, you don't want nothing to do with them, you don't give a fuck about them, you just say no, and that's the end of it. You just look at it. After you don't say nothing, and, unless you just keep saying no, but you don't offer any excuse. You don't embellish it, explain it, provide backup documentation for it. You don't need to do anything except say no, because that's it. No is a noun, a verb, an adverb, a subject. All that shit is rolled into one. You have to send your advice question. Yeah, well, you know where to send it. Go to the advice thing at the top of the YouTube page. You'll see it up there. Now, this is no is one of the strongest words in the English language, even though it's only two letters. And it just nothing really makes people more upset than hearing no. And those are those like entitled kind or trying to somebody come to game on you. I saw a video the other day, as a matter of fact, it just reminded me, this white chick holding a baby on her hip, one of them hipsters with the big glasses and the skull cap on, at some mall somewhere. And she came up on some service dogs. They were doing it. They had the service dogs out there, to try to explain to people how to apply for one, and what they do, and the different ways that they can help people who have disabilities or illnesses. So this was an informational thing. This was not no petting zoo. This chick wants her child to pet the service dogs, and the lady who was there told her no, right? She just said no. This chick hit the fucking roof. She was like, "You should have said it nicer. Like, no, these are service animals. You should have had a sign on it," she says. And so the girl flashed her phone to the dog, had like 7 labels all over it saying service dog, working animal, do not pet, not for petting, all this stuff. All of dogs just littered with shit. And this chick talking about you should have had a sign. It's like, bitch, your glasses don't work. They already big and thick. You need some different prescription. But see, people aren't me. And so the girl, you saw that too? Girl, I would have cussed that bitch out. It been like, look, you fucking hoe. Don't you understand these dogs are working? It's not here for your goddamn kid to pet. If you wanted something to pet, go to the pet store right down the hallway over there and get your kid a dog. But other than that, get the fuck out of here. Go away somewhere. That's what it would have been me. That's what would have been on the video where I at that pet, at there showing the service dog. But the lady was very polite to her. She just kept telling her no, and the woman kept, demanding that she had the right to say, to pet, and that they were wrong, and she was gonna call her lawyer on them and all kind of shit because she was the one who was wrong. I'm like, wow, this is unbelievable. So I think that I'm looking at my notes here. We got to teach girls how to say no. And what I want to do, I'm going to give you parents and aunts and teachers and community people, whatever, some tools to use. You got to do some role playing with these girls because I'll go into it in a little bit. A survey that was done with more than 7,000 young women, and the results of their responses is really sad and upsetting. So I just want you to think about that. But they have to know that no is something that they can own, that it's a good thing for them, that it's a protective word for them because it puts up immediate boundaries. Now, even though she's saying no, there's going to be them kind that don't want to hear it. They say they ain't trying to hear all that. They're not trying to hear that. And what happens is, women say no. Well, like if a guy says no, right, that's the end of it. Other dudes, respect his no's. His no, women usually respect the no. So that becomes the end of the conversation. It's every subject matter is closed. He said no with authority and bass in his voice and shit. And so everybody is quiet. However, for some reason, when a woman says no, that instead becomes the beginning of the negotiation. Well, why not? He says. Well, what's wrong with you? Well, why keep so see the guilt gets laid on? Well, I'm just asking for this. You never do what I want. Well, just do it for a little while. Well, just try it for a minute. Well, just take a bite. Just whatever it is, they refuse to accept your no. They want to try to keep talking and keep hitting you with it to make you give them what they want or do what it is that they want you to do. Have you guys noticed that? It's like, they just want to keep asking you and wheedling you and trying to convince you. And do you know why they do that? Because most women are not strong in their no, and you give in. Even if the percentage is only 10%, that's enough for a dude because their whole focus is on winning, getting what they want from you. You guys have got to do better. And even with you ones with parents, parents with kids, you say no, and then the next thing you know, you turn around and give it to them. I see that so much, it just makes me sick. No, you can't have ice cream or candy before you have dinner. This and that. Oh, you full of no, no, no. Kid keep whining and shit. My daughter knew better because I beat her little ass. It's like I said no. Now, if I have to tell you again, I'm gonna spank you. And so, after the first time or two, then she learned. If I said that, she better shut up and don't ask me no more. But I keep seeing parents, the kid keeps asking, whining, crying, begging, pleading, fleeing himself on the floor and all this kind of stuff. And some of them even hit the parents. And then the parents give in and give them what they want. What kind of training are you giving to your child, especially when you do that with your boy children? If he hits you, you're supposed to knock his ass through the nearest wall. Drop kick him down the flight of stairs. You don't let any male of any age hit you. That is bad juju. Bad, 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 bad. And super bad parenting. Yeah, you don't do that. All right, so let me see. Let me go through my list. Yeah, they do. That's the negotiation I was talking about, to break her down. So they're trying to negotiate you to yes. So they're going to keep bugging the fuck out of you until most women just be like, oh, okay then. Because they just want them to shut up. They just want them to stop asking them instead of removing themselves from the situation, hanging up the phone, getting in their car, driving off. I mean, just, whatever you need to do, kick them out your house, whatever you need to do to reinforce the no and let them know that you mean business. But most of you don't do that. I don't understand why you don't do it. So let's talk about how you can teach your daughter to say no without feeling guilty. These are things that girls are going to feel, that they're going to hear. The guilt thing is going to include, this old fashioned as this is, that, you don't love me. You won't do it. I'm going to have blue balls. The so and so's girlfriend does it for him. Why won't you do it for me? This kind of stuff. Okay, so then she starts feeling guilty. He's trying to inspire her to compete. Or he tells her, well, if you won't do it, then we may as well break up. So then he instills fear in her, right, of losing the relationship. A lot of women give in because they're afraid of the guy being so angry that he's going to become a stalker, or he's going to force her, he's going to harass her. And, these are generally the kind that just won't take no for an answer. They keep fucking pushing. Others are afraid of not fitting in, right? This is really hard for teenage girls, that peer pressure. They don't know. They want to be like everybody else because they feel like that's acceptance. And they don't understand that, the crowd is at the bottom, girls. The crowd is at the bottom. If you in with the crowd, you never going to get no further than the crowd. One thing that you have to learn to do is have the courage to be out front and be the leader, be different, be better. Cut the path, because only that way, cause like, my daddy used to say, if you not the front dog, all you seeing is somebody else's ass. And when he put it to me that way, and I'm sitting there, I'm imagining it like a pack of dogs running. Okay, the one in the front, the alpha, is the one leading and getting all the fresh air. Everybody else seeing ass. Okay, so I never wanted to be the one in the back. I'm always the one in the front, because that just wasn't going to work for me. Okay, so fear of not fitting in. Okay, fear of not being liked. That's a big one. Oh, they won't like me, the little girls worry about. You have to teach your girls that being liked ain't giving them no fucking money. Okay, it's not giving them no degree. It's not advancing their life. It's not doing shit for them. And I don't understand why they be so worried about who likes them. Fuck them people. In another 5 years or so, you won't even remember their names, and they won't remember yours. I mean, it might seem important right now because they in their same class with you at the same school. But trust me, a little bit they will have no influence over your life. So if they won't have any then, they shouldn't have any now. Women are forced, well, not forced, but commanded, shall we say. by their parents and society in general, teachers, pastors, everybody, to be polite and to be nice and to be kind, to be considerate and thoughtful, all at the expense of their own feelings and their own goals and their own needs. So they teach like a good mother, quote, is one who sacrifices everything for her kids. A good wife is one who sacrifices her dream for her husband. Fuck that shit. That's why I'm single now. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. Luckily, the man I was married to had better sense. But these guys I keep meeting, they have that mentality that you need to be what they want you to be. And I'm like, how about you be the fuck up out of my face? That's like, you do that. Let's do that. And so, how about the girls give the guy a number or they talk to a guy that they have really no interest in, right? Or they do the passive aggressive thing where they give him the number because they're afraid not to, and then they just don't call him. Okay, my contribution to that is that you get you a Google number, and then you can leave a message, but you can choose whether you call him back or not. And you might choose to call him, you might not, but either way, he's still not calling your real phone. um you might go on a date. He asked you on a date, I'm sorry. And then instead of just saying no, you come up with this, invisible boyfriend. You say, I have a boyfriend. And he says, well, what's that got to do with me? Or, well, can't you have friends? That kind of stuff. So again, he's violating your boundaries and he's not respecting you as a person, nor is he respecting your mate, nor is he respecting your relationship. And really, he's not even respecting himself. But his goal is to win. He wants something from you. Everything on this list is about men getting what they want from you and you not having the strength to tell them no. You're not gonna get it. Get out of my face. Leave me alone. You're not doing that. Or you get fear of being teased for being a goody two shoes, a fraidy cat, or depending on the situation, frigid, uptight, childish, immature. I mean, they hit you with all kind of stuff to try to guilt trip you into doing what they want you to do. Young ladies, you got to know the game. They just have so much game, and it's all the same shit. I'm telling you, it's like these books were written in like 1812, and they just get passed down from one generation to the next with the same bullshit. That's why I can just about say everything the dudes say. I can say it right along with them because I already know what they getting ready to say. It's just nothing about it is unique or different. Some girls have a fear of being ostracized. So you feel like you won't be part of the group, that you'll have to be by yourself. Is that so bad? I mean, where's the bad part there? I'm trying to find it. Rather than be with a bunch of weak girls who just gonna get you in some mess, you stand alone and do your own thing. I mean, where's the problem there? Others fear being the only girl without a date or the only one without a boyfriend. I can't tell you how many letters I got from 12 or 13-year-old girls, 14. All my friends have a boyfriend and I don't have one. I feel so ugly. And I'm like, why are you competing to be stupid? That's like, competing to get the bottom award for the bottom. No 13 or 14 or 12-year-old girl needs to be having a boyfriend. That's how pregnancies happen and 14 and 15-year-old baby mamas. That's how that happens. You need to be considering your future and working on some books and shit and getting a career started, learning something that you can use to make some money when you go to college and not worrying about some knucklehead ass boy. Oh my God. Others have a desire for approval, so they focus on pleasing others, which is boys, to keep them happy. You give them what they want because you want them to be happy. You want them to like you and want you and all that. Some of you fear being abandoned by a boy that you like if you don't give him what he wants because he threatens you with that. It's like a threat to either, to break up or to cheat and get what he wants elsewhere. So all of these things are designed to cause fear, worry, shaky self-esteem, and to make your daughter feel weak and confused and give him what he wants. And oh, and the last one I have here is the fear of hurting the guy's feelings because you're not considering how he's pressuring you to get what he wants. You worried about, you saying something in response to his pressure that hurts his feelings. Fuck that motherfucker. Ooh wee. Okay, as mothers, what do we have to do? You have to remind your daughters of several things. How many did I put? I don't know. I'm gonna just go through them. the number one thing is to remind them that they have the right to say no at any time for any reason to anybody. Okay? You need to tell them that. You have to give them the permission because they're going to be getting messages outside the house from teen magazines and Cosmo and on television, all the movie things, where the dude pressures the girl and then eventually he wins her heart or some shit. I mean, the movies have themes like that. So it's putting a negative message on women's nose by these entertainment vehicles. And that's, since men are stupid, they don't seem to be able to differentiate between what's on TV and in movies and versus real life. So they see some shit on television and they think that's real. And so you ladies have to be aware of that. That's what's going on here, and realize what you up against and how important it is for you to have the courage to say no. So you have to do that. That's another thing. The number two thing to teach your daughter is that most men have this sense where they can sense out a woman's weakness, her willingness to give in, or her ease, the ease of breaking her. Let me put it that way, because she might not be willing to do it, but they know that they can do it because of her demeanor. She's very insecure and she's very weak in her presentation of the no. It's very timid and kind of iffy, she's not real sure. And I'm going to be talking about those in a minute. Oh, yes, it's definitely the rapist mentality, without a doubt. Now, when you say no with confidence, men are more likely to listen to you. That is why hood rat girls, they always say, that they're too masculine. The real deal is because they're not coming across as weak and a pushover like other girls. So, you guys, LaShonda from East 14th Street, and you roll up on her, she'll be like, motherfucker, get the fuck out my face. I'm not trying to talk to you. Fuck out of here. Okay, so then the guy leaves. But then here comes, Sheila from the suburbs walking through Oakland. Shoot, all the niggas in the world gonna come surround her, and she's gonna be trying to be nice. Oh, like, cause she's been taught to be that way. Cause that's how people are in the suburbs. I've lived in both places, and it's a completely different environment. And so, she's gonna be like, "Oh, hi there. Oh, yes, I have a boyfriend. How are you today?" He's gonna be, and so she's gonna be talking to him, and he's gonna think he's got it in because he's gonna keep asking her stupid questions. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But it's like, oh my God, oh man, he talked her into letting him. No, you ain't driving shit. I've dated men and I didn't let them drive my car. I'm like, where your car at? Oh, my car's in the shop. You better get a rental or borrow one from your mama or something. Well, how come I can't drive yours? Because you ain't on my insurance. And the fact that you need to borrow a car versus go buy another one tells me that you don't have the money to pay for my car if you fuck it up. So therefore, you will not be driving my car. And that's it. And then I just look at them and they be like, well, damn, that's cold. And it's like, well, you not going to change your mind? Do I look like I'm going to change my mind? I love my car. It's mine. Okay, so then this, so when you say no, ladies, you can't be smiling like you say, no, hee hee. Okay, what does that communicate? That's like a mixed message. When you say no, your face better look like fuck no. No. Okay, no smiles there. Not in my eyes, no twinkle on my face. Notice that? Resting bitch face. That's how you have to say no to men. No smiles. You don't say maybe. You don't say anything that sounds weak or like, unsure, unclear. You're very firm in your no. And you got to teach your daughter that her body is her body. And it doesn't belong to a guy because they're dating or even if they're married. It's still not his, it's hers. You got to start teaching your girls that too. And skip that shit that's in religion. People be like, well, you become one flesh. Fuck all that. That's her body. Don't tell your daughter stuff like that. Don't do that. Because she's gonna be in a bad situation. And that's how come they had to make laws where wives could file rape charges on their husband. All this stuff about what he believe owns your body. The fuck he does? Who gonna be pushing out a baby? Me. Is he gonna be helping do that? No. So that means it's not nothing about his body. It's hers. Oh, this is what I put. Male socialized. Okay, women are socialized to be nice. Boys are socialized to win at all costs. So when you start dating a guy, you got to realize that that's going to be his goal. Whatever it is he got in mind that he wants to do with you, to you, he's going to be pushing for that from day one. But you got to make sure that you say no, and anything that you think you might want to do with him, you got to make him earn it. You don't just roll over and give it to him because he threatens you or anything like that. Men don't value shit that they don't earn, that they don't work for. So, a lot of times the women be like, well, he kept asking me, so I slept with him. Or he kept asking, he didn't want to use a condom, so I just went along with it. See, no, you're sacrificing too much in situations like that. You can't do that. Oh, let me see what's going on in the chat room. You were grouped a lot. You didn't know how to say no. Oh, groped. Yeah, that's happened. You need to say no and tap them with a stun gun or shoot them in the face with some pepper spray. It just reinforce your no. Nasty little fucks. Um, I'm thinking, it's really hard for the young girls to accept that they have to tell boys no because um, they feel like, it's going to hurt his feelings. You need to understand something. Boys, men, everybody, here's no in all over the place in life. That's just it. You go to a restaurant. Oh, do you have any tables? Well, no, we don't. We won't have any tables tonight. You can make a reservation for tomorrow. You call, you want to fly on an airplane. Oh, I'm sorry, all the seats are sold out. We know you can't get a seat on this plane. Can I sit there? No, the seat's taken. Can I, I want this job. Nope, you ain't qualified. Well, I want to get into the school. Nope, you ain't qualified. Well, I want this parking space. Nope, it's mine. We hear no all the time. So why is it that the only time men want to try to act like they don't want to hear no is when it comes from the lips of a woman? It's like everything else is, they can accept a no. Your credit, you apply for a credit card, it gets denied. You apply for a car loan, it gets denied. That's a no. We ain't giving you credit to buy the car. We ain't giving you credit to get in this house. We ain't giving you credit to rent this apartment. Your credit's fucked up. You ain't getting an apartment. I'm giving it to somebody else. So we hear no all the time. But the only time men want to act stupid and act like they all in their feelings and become violent towards somebody is when a woman tells them no, that she's not giving him sex, she don't want to date him, she don't want to give him her number, she don't want to give him the time of day. Oh, suddenly now it's the world fucking crisis. She can't tell me no, and they go crazy about it. So this is why I think, a lot of the times the young girls are thinking about that kind of stuff, and so they want to be, pleasing and acquiesce and stuff. But you guys don't understand when you can't give guys like that even a microscopic bit of hope. You can't let them see like there's a crack in the door because they're going to use a crowbar and try to bust that shit open till they get what they want. You got to shut them down completely, firmly, decisively, and say no very clearly with a nice clear tone of voice, and don't back down. Don't change your mind. A lot of women feel, guilt. They feel fear. Okay, I talked about that. Why am I repeating myself? Let me just switch to a new page. And some of the questions I thought that I think little girls and their mothers should ask themselves, you young women who are kind of caught in this nice routine where you don't want to tell men no, or you're afraid to say no, or you say it in some timid little chicken way. Ask yourself these questions, and you can go back and listen to this video, write these down, and try to come up with some answers if you feel like the behaviors that I'm talking about in this video apply to you. So what you want to do is ask yourself, what does it mean to be nice? What does be nice mean to you? I'm not saying to everybody else, to you. When you feel like, well, I want to be nice, does that mean? What does that look like? Okay. The second one, why do you believe that you need to be nice? What is it that you feel like you're going to get, or that's going to be better, improved, more of, whatever, if you're nice versus if you stand up for yourself? Because usually when you're nice, that means that you're being, overly compliant to somebody about their demands. Where did the message come from that this is how you are, quote, supposed to behave? I've heard a lot of women say that. Well, young ladies should be nice. Well, who told you that? Where'd that come from? Where'd you get that idea? And then they sit there and you see the gears churning while they try to think about it, and they can't come up with it. It's just good. Um, it's just the socialization. It's the atmosphere in which we are raised up. We're always getting corrected when we, have an ugly look on our face when somebody asks us a question. Don't look at people like that. You need to be nice. Young ladies don't do things like that. Be nice, be polite, be whatever. But it's always something about being nice. And I hate that word. I hate it. 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 I wish it would die. Another question I have on here: what does being nice and pleasing to others while sacrificing your needs and wants get you? Okay, think about the situations where you were nice and you sacrificed what you wanted, you sacrificed where you wanted to go, you sacrificed what you wanted to be, you sacrificed what you wanted to buy, you sacrificed, to quote, be nice and please other people. Think about those situations that have occurred over your lifetime and be honest with yourself and write down what the benefits were that you achieved or received from this being nice to these people. And these are the last two. Why do I care so much about what other people think about me anyway? That's the main question. I want people to think I'm this. I want people to think I'm that. And, I want them to think that I have money. That's why people want to go buy these fancy cars and shit and living in their mama's basement, sleeping on a pull-out couch and all this sort of stuff. So that when they step out the house, they present a certain image. They want to wear the designer clothes, labels, and all this shit, going into debt, running up credit cards and everything to present this image. And so this being nice and caring about what other people think about you is all part and parcel of that kind of persona. Where does that come from, and why do you feel the need to present yourself like that and get other people's approval of what you do, what you wear, what you say, what you drive, where you live, and everything else about you? Why do you need that? Why can't you give that to yourself? Okay, and my last question is for us who are parents and community leaders and stuff. How do we empower young girls to view themselves as worthy of respect, worth waiting for, and equip them with the tools to protect themselves from being pressured into sexual situations that they do not want and will likely regret? And this is something that you guys think about this. These are not questions I'm going to answer today, but I wanted to um, put these questions out there as homework. I like you guys to do homework because what I wanted to do, what I always do on this show is get you to think about why you do the things that you do, why you believe the things that you believe. Where does that shit come from? And what benefit is it of to you? And I think a lot of you don't think. You just go on remote control because this is what you were told and this is the way that you've always been. And you're not really considering the long-term impact of these belief systems and behaviors on your life. And I'm telling you, y'all got to be real good at saying no to people. You've got to learn how to do that and feel good about it. All right, now let's talk about this study. There's a study I read on something called the Institute for Family Studies. It was published in January of this year. And the title of it is Powerless to Say No. A study looks at teenage girls and sexting. So I extracted some, because it went on, and I don't want to bore you with all the details. But he is nice, and I just told my aunt, how am I going to let him down? Oh, Latasha, come on now. You just tell him it's not working out. Just say, we don't really have anything in common. You don't do it for me, or I mean, whatever you want to say, but just be honest with them, so that the words that come out is no, and don't do that. It's not you, it's me thing. Don't do that. That's just don't do that. Don't do that. You got a 16-year-old niece. There you go. She's got to be, especially before she go off to college. She really got to learn how to say no, because she's gonna be hit. Especially if she's cute, she can forget it. They're gonna be all over her, trying to get her to do stuff and go to parties and drink and smoke weed and smoke drugs and take pills and do all kind of stupid ass shit, cut class, all kind of stuff. They try to get girls to do all kind of crazy shit. And they go off to college, they better know how to say no. All right. So in this study, these are the things that I extracted. It says teen girls are aware of the risks of sexting, but under pressure, most struggle to say no. So it's like, okay, these are pictures. Somebody, they want you to send them nudie shots or you in your underwear. They want pictures of your boobs and whatever. Okay, that's sexting, or suggestive words and language and all stuff. Okay, so for people who aren't unfamiliar with the scope of it, that's what it means. And the part that was, I think, bothered me the most, and I put this here, the most disturbing part of the survey to me was that most of the girls did not want to send the photos. Okay, they didn't want to. But after repeated requests, like we just talked about, the dudes suggest beginning of a negotiation, most did not have the strength to continue to refuse. And as parents, aunties, grandparents, older sisters, teachers, whatever, you must make this a priority to teach the girls how to say no and to give them the strength to do it. For some reason, they're letting all these influences that I talked about, before, keep them from having a strong no. And it's like they don't feel confident that they deserve to protect themselves or something. Like they have to give in to these outside influences and these requests from men. Otherwise, all these horrible things are going to happen. And it's like, no, more things happen um, because you don't have firm boundaries. You get yourself in some shit, and you get yourself in some relationships with a knucklehead that you don't even really like, but you there because he likes you. How many women did that happen to? Ooh, honey. So it says here 2/3 of the 7,000 little girls interviewed on MTV reported being asked to sext. Most of them were female. So since most of them were female, they didn't really have much data on this, this issue with males. So we're gonna stick, like this show is about women anyway. So I'm gonna stick to that. And what was even more disturbing was how many girls reported that, was kind of like they had this laissez-faire attitude about it. Well, like, well, yeah, they all the guys do that. That's we're just so used to it, kind of thing. And that shit was disgusting as hell to me. If I found my son doing some shit like that, I would knock him through into next week. It's like how disrespectful to me as your mother. I did not teach you to go out in the world representing your family because you got my last name, representing you, this family, acting a zip damn country ass bumpkin like that. Like you don't have no manners and was raised on a pig farm. No. See, but so many mothers don't talk to their sons about stuff like this. The fathers don't, especially. Oh my God. And what's more also disturbing is the girls were so used to it. One girl said, "It's like I can't have a real guy friend or a real boyfriend without them asking for gross things." So they broke down the four primary tactics that the girls use to respond to these requests for sexting pictures. Refusal. 31% of the girls refused. Most had to deal with the consequences, such as him being angry, breaking up, or continuing to demand, even though the girl said no. The sad part is, of those who initially said no, six reported that they eventually gave in. The girls who gave in felt that they were weak, pathetic, and horrible people. If they refused, then they still felt bad because they labeled themselves prudes or a bad person for adhering to their morals and values. It says, you see what's going on here? Either way, your girls, if they respond negatively or if they respond and give the guy what they want, it affects their self-esteem. Parents, you got to talk to your daughters about this kind of stuff and let them know if you stand up for yourself, that's always a good thing. That's never bad. You're not a horrible person. You're a wonderful person that has the strength to protect herself and look out for herself. That is like a foundational element for high self-esteem and confidence. Your girls don't have it. They're doubting themselves once they give in, or if they continue to say no, then the guys want to call them names and all that stuff. So then the girl starts feeling like something's wrong with her and she's bad. You guys have got to talk to your girls. This was so sad. I'm sitting there just like, oh, just choking back, like I can feel it. That's probably why my throat's so tight now. Cause all day I was like just hot. So my throat chakra is kind of blocked because I couldn't really say what I wanted to say. And then, okay, so that was refusal. Then the second one was compliance. They didn't want to do it, but they eventually did to either prove that they loved the dude and cared for him or whatever, or to avoid conflict. The third kind was avoidance. those are the ones who just like act like they didn't get to, didn't get the text or whatever. They just ignored it. That's also a good tactic. And then the fourth, though, which was a really large group, was the ones who didn't know what to do. So they were lost. They were like, well, what do I do? That was the most common reaction, which I thought was, wow, that's really kind of messed up. And these girls were needing some guidance. And they're like 15 to like 22 or so. They need guidance on how to deal with this and navigate these requests. And they were afraid to ask their parents, though, because out of fear that the parents will freak out. So that's why parents, aunties, grandparents, teachers, you have to bring it up to them first. You can use this video as fodder. Sit down and watch it, together, and then talk about it afterwards. But this is mandatory, especially in our social media society now. As a teen, we didn't have to deal with this shit because the internet, wasn't really out yet. Not for my age group anyway. So it's something that we didn't really have to experience. I was a grown person by the time I started getting dick pics and all this kind of stuff. But I would just clown them. They would send it to me. I was like, well, where is it? What's that? Why are you sending me a picture of Vienna sausage? Why is that a picture of your pinky? You micro penis. I mean, I would insult them. And so then they would, like click off. That was real bad on AOL for a while until they instituted a blocking feature. So none of the girls felt relief or experienced a benefit from sending the pictures that were requested. For most, like I said earlier, it led to more doubts about themselves and fear of the future because since we live in this digital society, right, you see how people be digging up tweets from 10 or 20 years ago and shit. And so they're afraid, like, okay, I sent it to him. What's he going to do with it? Is this something that's going to show up later when I'm running for Supreme Court Justice and it's going to be a picture of me showing my boobs at 13 with my face? Oh. And then they said coercion was the most frequent experience with young men pressuring, threatening, getting angry, or cutting off or threatening to cut off the contact in order to get the photos they wanted. So they was like the dudes are going full, full out. They not holding back at all. They using everything. They just lobbing things at your daughters to get them to do what they want them to do. And your poor girls don't know what to do with the onslaught. You guys have got to take the lead on this. You've got to step in front of them because they're afraid to talk about it. They think you're gonna freak out, and you got to tell them, no, mom, mom, don't freak out about nothing. This is some shit that I want to make sure that you are ready to deal with this kind of stuff. You spend a lot. All these kids spend a lot of time online, and these little teenagers, they be in the chat rooms and stuff, and these old adult ass men be coming in there pretending that they're 17 and all this stuff, and they're 44 years old. So you got to you got to like be there with your girls, holding their hand and guiding them. And like I said, I really believe that doing some role playing is good so that they get used to saying no. They get practice at it. Um, and so the girls in this survey, now keep in mind, it was 7,000 girls. The average age of them was 15, and they already been hit with sexting pictures at 15. I was just disgusted. They reported feeling bombarded, coerced, and confused about the requests from men. They wanted to say no, but they sent the images anyway because they felt powerless to say no. And I'm like, oh my God. Boys' behavior is rarely policed. That's true. That is very true. And so, as parents, what do you do though? Most of them, they just turn their boys loose. They don't sit them down and say, no, look here. This is what's going on in society. This is the kind of shit that I know is going to be coming up, and your friends are going to be trying to do it. And if you do it, I'm going to knock your teeth out. Don't let me see any shit like that on your phone. Don't let me see shit like that in your email. Because keep in mind, I pay the bills here, so I can hack into any account that I want to. Because you just call the service provider and tell them to crack the password. You the account holder, they'll do it. So your teens need to understand that. You text the shit, all the shit you want to, and you think you delete some stuff, ain't shit deleted. I can get it. So you better watch what you do, honey. Watch it. I'm telling you, I was scared the shit out of my son. He'd be scared to breathe too hard. But it's like, you guys got to do a better job of monitoring your son's behavior and putting your foot up their ass about them thinking they're going to be violent, controlling some girl and telling her what she better do and acting all jealous and stupid, modeling behavior from their little bratty ass friends. No, that's not what you're gonna do. Now with my last name, now you want to change your last name to Williams or Jones or some shit, you go out there and do whatever the fuck you want to do. But as long as you are representing me out in this world, you're gonna conduct yourself if you have some goddamn sense. And that is exactly, I mean, tell my daughter the same thing. Don't you dare go out in this world and embarrass my family by acting stupid. Don't you dare. Because then you're going to have to answer to me. And so, you see, I'm not about the bullshit. So, okay, now I want to talk about something that I saw. Honey, you think that was bad. There's a guy. Now, they have these pickup artist types, right? They do things like train guys in how to coerce and pressure women into giving them what they want. Oh, a girl sent you that? I think she must have sent it to the wrong person, I'm thinking. But you never know. People have interesting proclivities these days, so I'm not going to do that. Um, okay, so this guy wrote this article, right? And his program is all based on teaching dudes how to make women say yes. And when I say make, that's what I mean. Make. He talks about the ways that women say no, and he breaks it down into three categories. Okay, see, that's what I was thinking. Married to a Vitamix, but I'm not trying to go there because I'm trying to stay on topic for once in my life. Um, So, I don't think I'm going to give his name out or tell you where to find us. I will never do that shit. I'm not here to promote their bullshit. I'm merely here to use it as an example of what your daughters are up against and the programming and the what am I trying to say? The power base that men are gathering in order to manipulate and control women into giving them what they want. I keep telling you guys, that's men's whole life. Like 99% of men, that's all they think about is ways to control and manipulate and coerce and get the best of women. That's all they think about. So it's like everything that they do is about that. And you guys don't want to believe me. So it's like, I don't know why you don't believe me, but that's it. And so this dude has this whole program, and he uses it, to teach guys what to say and how to analyze women's no's and to get them to, to do what he wants them to do. And so they take that thing, you've heard that phrase, what is it? Quitters never win and winners never quit. You've heard that phrase. And it's, I mean, I used to have it above my desk, and it motivated me to keep studying, and it motivated me to do well on the test, and it, to do extra study hall hours and, extra labs and all that stuff. Okay, that was good for then. But you don't take something that applies to an inanimate object like a degree, a job, something like that, and then try to apply it to a person. Because applying it to a person, that means you're trying to enslave that individual and you remove their free will. You're trying to take control over their body, their mind, their spirit to get what you want at their expense. And so that's why I see, like, I had to take that shit down once I started doing advice and stuff, and I saw how it was being used in an incorrect way against women instead of for men to use it to advance themselves. They were using it, turning around to use it against women. And I'm like, okay, y'all are some fucked up folks. But let me just talk about this. He says that there's three ways to get around a woman's no, because a woman has three kinds of no's: the uncertain no, the gentle no, and the firm no. Now, the uncertain no is the ambiguous one that I was talking about earlier, where she's not really sure. It comes across like she's kind of thinking about it. Well, maybe, you have to talk me into it, kind of thing. Even though that might not be what she wants and that's not what she's thinking, that's how she's presenting herself, and that's how she's being interpreted. And that's why I say your words and your actions have to match. You have to put your resting bitch face on. You got to put some bass in your voice, and you got to raise your voice when you say no. You don't say no like all timid and quiet and shy, because then they take it like, oh, I got this. She gonna be my next victim. So this is what he says. This is I'm reading this from what I printed out from his article. There are three kinds of no's that she can give you. The uncertain one, like, I don't think I should. I have to do this other thing, but my friends are waiting for me. This one is almost more a maybe than a no, but she's leaning towards telling you no. Usually she tries to hide beside some other excuse, like people waiting for something on her schedule that she has to stick to, or some resolution that she doesn't want to break. It doesn't matter. She still said no, motherfucker. Then he says the gentle no. I can't. I have to stay here. This one is a no, but she's either nice enough or still likes you enough that she doesn't want to be too firm about it. The trouble is, it's often difficult to tell whether she's just being nice but isn't remotely interested, or whether she likes you but just needs you to ask a little more persuasively. See, that's what I'm saying. You guys can't. You got to be firm so they know without a doubt she said no, and that's what she means. Let me pick up my wagon and move the fuck on. And then he comes to number three, a firm no. No thanks. Nope. I don't think so. Now, this one's shooting you down firmly with no two ways about it. This comes in two flavors, he said. She's dismissive or annoyed that she shoots you down, or she's getting a kick out of doing it. You need to be able to read her facial features and body language to tell the difference. But sometimes the girls who get a kick out of it will pretend to be dismissive just to make their performance all the more convincing. Usually, though, they say in a very happy, self congratulatory way, nope. Big self satisfied smile. So then he says, yet, at the end of all of this, he's got some more text too. I'm skipping that. Yet, no matter the firmness, doesn't necessarily mean things are finished with a particular girl. So do you hear what I'm saying here? He's telling guys, yes, she said no firmly. Oh, she said no gently. You know, she's really not certain. But in all three instances, she said no. And his thing is that doesn't necessarily mean that this is over. So basically what he's telling these dudes is, so what she said no, it's not over because you haven't accepted her no. That's what he's saying. And I'm reading this shit. I'm telling you, I was on fire. I was so mad. And it's like, this is why we have to get our girls to have more of a spine when they say no. This bullshit right here. This man is up here charging people for this package to tell them how to manipulate and control and coerce your daughters into giving them sex, time, her number, her body, her energy, her womb, whatever he wants from her, her money, anything. He's trying to tell them this is how you need to do it. Okay? I'm just like, this is just some unbelievable shit. Why keep trying, people? Because they know that most women have that thing in their head where they need to be nice. And the niceness is going to overtake at some point for the majority of women because they're so insecure about saying no. They feel like if they say no, that makes them a bad person. It makes them mean, that they're going to hurt his feelings. And so I can't tell you how many letters that get to the vice con where women want to break up with a dude, right? They know that he's fucked up. They know the relationship is not working. That he's a cretin. I mean, all that. He's rude. He's violent. He's whatever. But the main thing, they're not worried about none of that or how it's affecting them. Is it, you know, I want to do it without hurting his. How can I break up with him without hurting his feelings? How can I leave him without hurting his feelings? And I'm like, what about your feelings? Who gives a fuck about his feelings? He'll get over it. That's it. That's what I'm saying. When he takes it, that's the beginning of, well, we're going to negotiate until you say yes. And that's what they do. That's why you cannot be weak with your no. You got to come strong with it. Okay, so then he goes on to explain what the guy should do. Like if she says no in a certain uncertain way. And then he gives this dialogue. Let me read you this. He says that if she's on the fence, that means she needs guidance. And he put that in bold letters. So he's not looking at you as a mature person who can make a decision about what she wants to do with her life, her time, her body. Oh, no, you need his guidance. You need his instruction. You need him to tell you what to do. That's what he's saying. So then he says, he gives this dialogue. So he says, you, which, is supposed to be the dude. Hey, hand me that pen for a second. Her, I'm using it right now. I need to finish writing my report. You, serious face. I only need it for a second. Her, can't you find something else to write with? I have to finish this. You, no, I want to show you something. Her, can you show me later? So he's like, okay, that's a bad example, he says. That's boring. That's not enticing her to give you give you what you want. So then he gives example number two. You need dialects more like this, he says. Hey, can you hand me that pen for a second? Her, I'm using it right now. I need to finish writing my report. You, big smile. Come on, just give me the pen. It'll just be a second. Her, but I have to finish writing this. You, big smile. You can finish it in a second. You're going to love this. Give me the pen. Her, okay, hands you the pen. What are you going to show me? Bullshit. Okay, that's bullshit. Try to show her that she's gonna love something that she don't know what it is and she don't know you either. Fuck you. Okay, now your average sister, what she's gonna say? Motherfucker, I told you no. This is my pen and you not putting your fucking cooties on it. Get the hell out of here. Did that sound like a beginning of a negotiation to you? That would be me. And like I told you no. You want to use my pen? No. Okay, then you ask me again. That's when you get the flames and you get cussed the fuck out. And I'm gonna do it loud and I'm gonna embarrass you in front of everybody. And I won't give a fuck if you don't like it. I said no, motherfucker. What part of no do you not understand? NOKNOW. No. Okay. But this is a shit. That this is bullshit. And these white dudes, they be trying to run all this game on a little white girl. Get your hood rat sister roll up in there to ask somebody for a fucking pen, and see next thing you know you be having that pen shoved up your ass, trying to figure if you want the pen so bad here, motherfucker, take it. Okay, so then he says, so then when she says no gently, when she says no in a gentle way, oh, I can't. If I wasn't so busy, I'd love to go with you, but I'm just too booked. You're faced with two choices, he says. Accept it and make a small deal. So, shrug it off and invite her to something later, or you persist and get a final decision. So, in other words, you just keep bugging the fuck out of her until she says something else. So then he gives a whole bunch of reasons why to justify that. But basically, the line is like he's a hard pushing the woman to give him what she wants, not taking no for an answer. That's basically what he's saying. Okay, then he goes to the third one. Excuse me, my bubbles from my LaCroix are coming up. When she gives you the firm no. If it's in a social circle, unless you're an absolute pro, then drop it. She ain't interested, so move on. Makes as little of an impression on her as possible and give her as little incentive to want your reputation to affect your reputation socially. Very smart advice because see, that's when woman tells you a firm no, then just like me, every no out of my mouth is firm. If I say maybe, then that's what I mean. Maybe I'll give it some thought and give you an answer later. But if I say no, that means you could go to hell, you could die, dry up, blow away. It's still gonna be no because I said no, and that means I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I've quit jobs because they try to say, well, if you don't do it, we'll fire you. I'm be like, fuck you, I'm quit. Cause you still not gonna make me do it. I don't give a fuck. I told you I'm not doing it, and that's what I fucking mean. I can't tell you how many jobs I've been fired off of, and I left with just that verbiage. So it's like, I don't give a fuck. If you try to get me to do some shit that I don't want to do, it's morally repugnant to me, or it's just nasty and disgusting, or some shit that's outside the scope of my employment that you ain't paying me for, then Deborah says no. No, I'm not doing that. No, I'm not going there. No, I'm not wearing that. No. And that's what no means. I'm just like, whatever. So then he goes on. Okay, so when she gives you the firm no, so then he says, anything else, though, you got two options. Number one, you drop it and move on. This is the most common sense option. That's right, before she clowns your ass into oblivion in front of everybody. Because you don't want the ego beating of hanging in there and having some girl who doesn't like you get progressively more brutal with rejecting you. Because that's what I would do. Go for your fucking jugular. Or number two, go for greatness. He says, I'm calling this greatness in terms of picking up girls as a skill. There's really no reason to do this other than to prove yourself that you can do it and to be able to say that you pulled off something few men will, that is sleep with a girl who doesn't like you. Please. If she sleeps with you and she claims that she don't like you, then she lied, or she's bored, or she was just playing around or something. I don't know. Because if I don't like you, you ain't touching me. That's all that I have to say about that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys, just let you see how organized these efforts are on a global scale to play these games with women with words and mind games to get you to do what they want you to do. This man is selling this program and idiot men are buying it. Are you understanding what I'm saying? This shit is worldwide. These men who want this great desire to control what you do and to eliminate your no so that you give them what you want. You have got to start working on your girls early. This shit is just ridiculous. And these little boys be doing this shit. I saw, this situation. I talked about this last year when I saw it, but I want to talk about it again because this is a perfect example. I had my car last year. Was it? Yeah, I had my transmission rebuilt, so I was on public transportation for I don't know a couple of weeks. So I didn't want to rent a car. I was being cheap, so I got a bus pass and I'm taking BART and stuff. It was kind of interesting. And I was waiting at this bus stop. It was in East Oakland. So I was there visiting one of my clients, walked a couple of blocks and took this bus. And while I was there, I saw these two little girls. They looked to be about 15, 16. And they were talking about taking the same bus that I was supposed to be taking, going to this mall. Okay. And one of the girls was small and the other one was tall. And, so they were friends. So they get to the bus stop, and this little weed smoking, pants sagging fool rolls up on him. He looked to be about 18, 19 or so. He was older than them. You could tell by how much facial hair he had and stuff. And he rolls up on the girls. He knew the tall one, so he's talking to her and everything. And she introduces him to the little girl. This little boy, I told you, he could have been older than 21. I don't even think he was that old. But I'm watching all this whole thing they right in front of me, like 5 feet in front of me, so I hear every word that they're saying. And he's looking, he's just like he got the roll walk, and his game was smooth. And these little girls didn't even know it hit him. And so they're supposed to be going shopping at the mall. So he's telling them, oh, you don't want to go to that mall. That mall is ghetto and this and that, and ain't nothing out there no more, blah, 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 blah. You need to go to the mall by my house, blah, 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 blah. So they're listening to this bullshit. And the little girl, was looking hesitant. And the taller one was like, well, he says, well, do you guys want to come to my house and smoke? And so the taller one was all for it, right? The little girl was like, well, we're supposed to be going to the mall. And but anyway, so the guy kept pushing them and talking about the shopping was a waste of time. They could do that anytime. He was pushing them. He refused to take no. So the tall girl was all for it. The shorter girl, the one that had the boyfriend, didn't really want to do it, but she was with her friend, so she starts walking away. And I still to this day kick myself because I should have had I was just so stunned, but I should have had the presence of mind to tell that little girl, you don't have to go with them, You can go to the mall by yourself, or you can call your mother and have her come and pick you up. But either way, you don't have to go with them like you think that you do. That's like I can see on your face you don't want to do this, so don't do it. That's what I wanted to say to her. But by the time I got, my mind right and stuff, they had already got on some other bus and was gone. And so, that's what happened. So she ended up going off with this girl to smoke with some dude that she didn't know. And then he had a friend with him. And they going to a destination that's supposed to be his house. But who's going to be there when you get there? And who's going to come after you get there? And what's going to be in them drugs that you smoking? You see, my mind went all the way there. And this little girl, she looked so concerned and worried, and like she knew she should have said no, I'm not going, but something in her kept her from saying it because she was just like trying to be nice and go along with the program and not to have them talk about her, being scary or so stuck on her man and all this stuff that the dude was going to rib her with. So she didn't say all of that, and that was just very disturbing to me. So that's a living and color example that I witnessed with my own two eyes with this kind of thing, the uncertain no, the gentle no, the firm no, and the coercion of a guy who wanted to, get something going that was going to benefit him. Getting a girl smoking something. You don't know what he put in that shit. The next thing you know, your ass is passed out and here come 20 niggas through the door. No. No, no, no. All right, so let me see. Where else am I getting rid of? Oh, okay. Where am I on time? Okay. We're doing pretty good. Now I want to talk about men and street harassment, which also occurs in public settings like clubs, parties, books. I mean, stores, grocery stores. I mean, anywhere really. But usually it's when you walking up and down the street or on public transportation or waiting for public transportation or something like that. Right here they come. Now the problem with it is that women are trained and socialized that when someone asks you a question, you're supposed to respond. Like someone says something to you, you're supposed to respond. So, you're socialized. If someone says good morning to you, you say good morning back, right? I don't say shit. I just look at them. Someone says, what time is it? You run around looking and everything to try to tell them what time it is. Motherfucker, don't you have a phone? That's Deb's answer. Look on your phone. Don't bother me. Or they say, well, is this where the so and so bus stops? Motherfucker, you illiterate? The sign is right there. Read it. Stuff like that. Now, I'm telling you, these are some answers that my sour ass has really given people. I don't want to answer questions the way that you want me to. I might give you an answer, but trust me, it's going to be one that you're going to wish you had not asked me that question because I'm about to hurt your feelings. So it's like, these people, you got women who they're trying to be overly placated. Now, in the time where you're doing this, right, what is going on? This man's getting closer to you. He's violating your personal space because by you responding to him in a friendly way, it's like he takes that as an invitation. So he gets the time and now, well, what's your name? Well, where you going? Do you work around here? You sure is pretty. Can I get your number? Well, why not? You look like you one of them smart girls. You go to college, So they have all these questions, right? So you steady answer because you just feeling tense, and you just want them to go away. So you're giving him answers, but you're not smiling at him. You may not even really be looking at him too tough, but that doesn't matter because he's getting what he wants from you, which is your time and your attention, your words, your energy. Okay, you guys don't understand the game here. It doesn't mean he necessarily wants you, but he's still trying to use you up to get some benefit for himself, which is an ego boost and some female energy. Might be the closest he gets to a woman this whole year is during that exchange. But that's what their game is. So when you see somebody like this and they start asking you questions, you can ignore them. A lot of women wear headphones, when they're traveling and stuff, and they be like they're singing and stuff. And then here comes if you're not paying them attention, they gonna get in front of you and do all like this, and to try to get your attention. And so you be like, take it off. What? You see, I'm busy. What the fuck? And then you put it back on. Like he's not even there. You know what I mean? And they just can't stand it. They just really just want your attention. These are ashy ass, dusty motherfuckers. And then if a lot of times I think a lot of women are concerned because they feel like, well, if I don't answer him or, if I say something he don't want to hear, they're going to curse me out. They're going to call me a hoe. They're going to call me a bitch. They're going to say you're ugly anyway. And, I was just trying to be nice to you, this and that, blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to tell you this. Who gives a fuck what he says? He's an ashy, dusty ass motherfucker. Okay, like I said, when you talk to these people, are they putting any money in your bank account? Are you going to get a new car out of the deal? It's not like you on a game show where you're going to win the door prize behind door number 3. Okay, they're not bringing you no benefit. So what fucking difference does it make if he calls you a name? He don't know you. He just doing something because he's trying to hurt you. And if you let him hurt you, your face change, you start crying and all this old kind of stuff, then he feels powerful and vindicated. You cannot let that happen. You cannot even talk to these kind of clowns. You don't answer their questions when they ask them. You don't tell them your name. You don't tell them nothing. Even if it's a fake name, you don't do it. Okay, it's none of his business what your name is. Motherfucker ain't writing you out a check, so what the fuck he need your name for? You see what I'm saying? See what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying? He ain't writing he's not gonna help you. And then then this is the other one. So some of them they don't take the vulgar tactic. They take the other approach. Well, I'm a good man. See, that's what's wrong with you sisters. You see a good man and you don't want him. You just want them thugs. I'm a good dude. I got a job. I got my own place. I got a car. This and that. Blah blah blah. And it's like, motherfucker, do I look desperate? I'm not desperate. I'm not trying to get with your scallywag ass. Because if you had any class, you wouldn't be out here trying to pick up women on the street like a goddamn trash collector. Get the fuck out of here. Don't talk to me. I charge motherfuckers to talk to me. You owe me $100. So anyway, I think guys need to understand though, in a situation like this, You guys think that you're winning by asking all these questions and getting her to respond to you and all stuff. Okay, really, in reality, you would have done better to just ask the question, and then she sees she don't want to answer. Then you just say, okay, well, good day, thank you for the time or whatever it was you asked her the first question, and then be on your merry little hot foot way. But it's like, instead, you sit there and you become even more and more annoying. Every syllable that comes from your crusty lizard lips, it just pisses her off more. Every time you ask her another question trying to get her attention, you look like a more and more desperate, low self-esteem having fool. That's what you look like. Trying to pick up women on the street with some tired, fucked up lines. Come on, dudes, for real? And you think that that's gonna endear you to women? To women, you look like an idiot, and you look like some kind of low class street hustler. It's like no woman with any good sense wants to be a man with a man like that. Because you would have some class about yourself. You would be trying to pick women up on the street, on the bus, at the bus stop and shit. What's wrong with you? Just ghetto and hood rat and just trifling. Ugh. No, they don't care. They just want what they can get out of you. You know what I mean? Look at how many of them get married. They claim they love you. They get married, and what the fuck they do then? Go and cheat on you with some trifling hoe, and then sit up there talking about, well, but I still love you though, nigga. Really? I don't understand what kind of love you talking about, cause that we ain't matching. See, this is gonna be on the show that I do about values and morals. We're gonna be talking about that and how you guys don't really pay attention to the conflict in your values with these dudes, and so you end up with them and having kids with them and married to them and shit, and then you get to get all shocked and surprised when he got a whole different lifestyle in play, and you didn't ask the right questions, or you saw some shit and you ignored it. So we will be talking about that. So let's close out this show now. Some of you, somebody asked this question in the chat. How do you get rid of somebody so that they go away? How do you make them go away? Yes, I'm a good man. I've only cheated, beaten, and abused my last five exes. Y'all women should give me a chance. Huh? That's funny, but it's kind of true. I hate to say. Yeah, if they say they're a good man, that means that he's a knucklehead because he done sent his promoter out to try to win you over. So, if a guy is truly a good man, he never has to say it. His behavior shows it and proves it to you. But the ones that come using the words, see, he's used to dumb women who fall for words and don't look for any actions. Well, he say he a good man. He say he'll do this and that for me, and then nigga don't do shit. And so you sit up there like, well, when it gonna happen though? And in the meantime, you got him moved into your house, living rent free. You feeding him, buying him clothes, letting him drive your car, and all this kind of stuff. And he's a knucklehead. Oh my God. Yeah, as soon as they say they're a good man, I'll be like, Garcon, check please, so I could be up and out. Oh yes. Well, they need to understand. A lot of women are packing these days, and they're not playing with these dudes. You know. Somebody had a thing on the internet. I saw it was an old case. It was on Snapped, I think, where some man cheated on his wife and she found out, honey, dude dust appeared. As my little cousin say, not disappeared. He said dust appeared, which is appropriate here because obviously he was a dusty, says he was cheating on his wife. So he dust appeared, and turned out girlfriend took him and like roasted his ashes and put his body somewhere. They never did find that motherfucker's body. He just disappeared, and that was the end of him. But she found out he cheated. She in prison, but you know what? His ass is dead, and so she probably like, oh well, that was a good exchange. Some of these women, you just can't fuck with them like that. These dudes be just tripping, and they just forget who they messing with. I'm telling you, if you got a woman named Jackie, you really better leave her alone. Leave her alone because she's going to be crazy and she might kill you. Or she's going to at least wound you or try to. So you don't want to do that. I'm just saying. Okay, so one guy says that you should always, and this is a professional. This is a professional person into, security and stuff for women. And I read this article by him and I was so disgusted because he was saying that you should always tell somebody that you're not interested and that is rude not to do so. and that it's like you should provide these men with closure, and you don't want to, what did he say, something about their ego, you don't want to rile up their ego, their male ego, or some shit like that. Oh, here it is. Don't do or say anything that will trigger the male ego. So essentially, even though I used to have great respect for this man, I read this one article and all of it just went away. Because what he was doing is reinforcing old stereotypes that women are somehow responsible for men's behavior and men's feelings. No, you're responsible for that. That's why they call you a grown ass man. So because someone says something to you that you don't want to hear, that does not entitle you to act a zip damn fool towards them. Okay, because like I keep saying, you fuck with the wrong woman, your ass gonna be pushing up some daisies and trying to figure out what happened when you on the other side of them pearly gates. And they say, oh, no, 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 you need to go that way, son, that down there. There's up, see, there's that sign. They got the little sign with the limo. Go on down there and catch your ride before it goes away. But these dudes have this really interesting attitude that he's promoting that shit while he's also talking about women's safety and security and stuff. And it's like he's not making men take any responsibility for the fact that they attack women over their egos. No, 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 no. You need to focus on training men and stop telling women what they need to do to make men feel better. Because the men, that way the men never get challenged. They never grow up. But he says it's rude not to tell somebody that you're not interested. I don't give a fuck. Did I say I was interested in you? So the fact that you're interested in me, what's that got to do with me? You know what I mean? It's like, so now I owe you all this shit because you expressed an interest in me? Fuck you. How about that? Get the hell out of here. If I was interested in you, motherfucker, you would know it because you would have seen my teeth looking at you and smiling. Did I smile at your tired, funky, dusty ass? No. So just get away from me. I'm not telling shit to you about why I don't want to talk to you and all this old shit. And if your ego gets involved and your feelings get hurt, good. That'll teach you next time to learn to read some body language like a goddamn intelligent person. Just still go and talk to every woman. You can see the woman's not looking at you. She shows no interest. You walking up to her, she got her mean mug on. Motherfucker, that means make a U-turn. Go away in the opposite direction. She's not interested in you. But here they come. Here they come. The Dusty Brigade. Just getting all in your face, talking about what they want and give me your number and all this stuff. Motherfucker, please. You ain't calling me. I don't know who you going to call, but it ain't going to be this person right here. I have no interest in you whatsoever. Okay, so yeah, so basically he's like, he hates that um he wants to make women responsible, like a woman who wants to move on and not become involved with a guy. He's making it sound like we have all this obligation and responsibility to cushion the blow of rejection for him. I don't owe you shit. Okay, you got in my face. So with the fact that you got in my face means that you better be prepared for some rejection. Otherwise, you would have stayed over there where you were, right? He got up, he comes to get in your face. That means that you're supposed to be a man and you're supposed to be prepared for the possible rejection. Otherwise, don't approach a woman. If you can't handle rejection, do not approach. Stay your asses off of internet websites, them swipey things. I mean, all of that is a potential for rejection. If you can't handle it, stay your ass in the dark at your home, at your house, and do what you need to do. But other than that, do not come out in public and do not interact with women, because the reality of life is 90% of women are going to be repulsed by you. 5% are going to just be like, yeah, I guess he's okay, I guess, but they're not going to want to be bothered with you. So you down to 5% who might be interested in you. That's a 95% chance that nobody's going to be interested in you and what you're talking about. So guys need to be aware of that reality. Women don't owe you shit. And unless you got some shit going on and happening and you look like something up here and you got your body tight and your wallet is fat, no woman is going to be interested in you. It's just not going to happen. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. These are my rules, my takeaway for young girls and their parents. Do not be, to sum all of this up, in other words, number one, do not be vague in your no. Don't worry about letting a man down easy or, not hurting his feelings or whatever. Speak your truth. You don't have to be overly nasty about it. Just speak your truth. Okay, your truth is you're not interested. He's not your type. There's nothing, you don't think that you two have much in common. I mean, whatever it is your reason for making this determination that he's not the one for you. If you want to, you can explain it, but you don't have to. Just say no, thank you. I'm not interested, and that should be the end of it. Or you could just say no, thank you. We have nothing in common. My interests lie elsewhere, whatever you want to say. Some one sentence thing, and then that's all. But essentially, that's no. You can say, if you've been out with a dude a couple of times, that becomes a little trickier. Because now, he asked you a couple of times because he liked you or whatever. But during that time, during those dates, you have discovered something about his personality, his value system, his history, whatever, that you don't want to go any further with this relationship. So that's when you have just when a lot of women worry about hurting his feelings. The fair thing to do is to just be straightforward, like I said, and just tell him, we spent some time together. I've got a chance to get to know you a little better, and you got a chance to get to know me. But I'm not really feeling that anything is going to happen here of any importance, and so I'm thinking this is going to be our last time talking or whatever. But I wish you luck in your search for love. Click, and that's it. And it's a very straightforward thing. It's not an attack on him, like you all fucked up and you stupid, and you don't need to do all of that. But you do want to make it clear that this is the end of the ride, and that this is your stop, and you getting off. And so he needs to understand that. Another thing is, well, my term is, do it hard, do it dirty if you have to, but make it clear that this is it. This is the end. There's nothing gonna happen here any further. Don't be trying to be all, like meek and shit with it. And who is Calvin? Oh, okay. He's blocked. I blocked him. I'm sorry, I didn't see it. But I've been talking, so I haven't been really looking in the. Don't worry about what he said. He's gone. So, and also to say, women need to really focus on this one thing right here. You're socialized, what I said at the top of the show. You're socialized as a female in this society, any society in the world, really. Women are socialized to support and caretake, be nice to, and give to men. Okay, that's it. Like a lot of them use religion for that, the social structure of their society, whatever. But the bottom line is that's what is that's the focus. Women are here to be men, to meet men's needs. That's what they like to thread thing about submission and be a help meet and all this kind of stuff. That is what they truly believe in their insane little lizard brains. That's what we're here for. No, you are here to self actualize. You are here to be the best person that you can be for yourself, for your family, for your children, for your mama and daddy who busted their ass to put your ass through school and grad school and all of that. You're there for that purpose. You're not there to kiss some man's ass and make him feel better about his nothingness. Okay? Don't do that. Don't do that. And if he doesn't meet your standards, then he doesn't meet them. You don't need to bend your rules or give a brother a chance and lower your standards or anything like that. You have worked hard to get to where you are in life, and you need and deserve a man who's going to represent himself as being on a par with you intellectually, financially, spiritually, morally, in his value systems, whatever way that you want to, that you deem appropriate. He needs to be step in step with you. That's when you have a good partnership. That's when y'all can hold hands and take off running, and you can cover some major ground in just a few weeks, months, years, or whatever, and just really do the damn thing. But you got somebody that you got to drag along and help and prop up and support and all that shit. That's slowing you down. That's an albatross around your neck. Do not do that. Say no to those kind of men. Say no to those kind of relationships. Do not feel obligated to carry the weight of some loser on your back while you trying to run to glory. Don't do that. Oh my God, it's just so unbelievable. More dust. Oh, these guys just drive me crazy. Oh, okay. Yeah, they always come in on these kind of shows where you talk about female empowerment and not doing shit for men. Oh, they show up in big time numbers because they feel so threatened. When you teach young, especially young girls, those are the ones that they want to go after, right? Is that what they always talk about? They talk about people hitting the wall. So at 30 or 35. So what they're going after is this market that I'm trying to educate right now. They're feeling extremely threatened by this video and any video that I do along these lines. When you try to tell teenage girls what to watch out for and how to avoid fuckery and dustiness in men, they come in droves to attack. I expect to see many of them on the wall, but they will be getting blocked. Me and my cousin gonna be hard at work, um, deleting that shit and blocking them and reporting their asses to YouTube or whatever we need to do. So don't worry about seeing that. But you guys got to remember that men have a different attitude. Like I said, you're socialized to be nice and pleasing and supportive and all this. They are programmed with one thing in mind, and that is to win, to come out on top. They don't give a fuck what they have to do to make that happen, what kind of lies they have to tell, what kind of manipulation and coercion they have to do. They want to come out on top at your expense. They want to stand on your head and feel like they are the victor. So you guys need to understand that. You want to be sitting around thinking about, he's such a nice guy and it's nice this and that, blah blah blah. Shit, even half the time, you the ones that are nice dudes are have that trait in them. You got to watch them too, because they get into that pressures thing. They want to, they end up being the ones that want to date rape somebody because they don't want to stop because they just feel like they deserve it because they're nice. See, so they don't. It's the same thing. It's the same mentality though. They want to win. I'm telling you guys, it never fails. So you young ladies have to remember you're going to be trying to bend yourself into a pretzel to please these men and do all that stuff. Please stop doing that. Please yourself. He's going to get on the program with you and be a part of your life in a positive, supportive way, or he needs to be left alone. That's pretty much it. I mean, you're like, well, I'm going to have a husband. You don't want any husband. You want the right husband. Just to saying, I want to get married, like this blanket thing, like you'll take anybody. That's how women get in trouble. They end up with some man beating their ass and using drugs and selling all the shit out their house, molesting their kids, and just acting to zip their food, bringing home STDs and all this old stuff. You can't just say I want to get married. You have to be specific. I want to be married to a man who sees me as valuable, who's going to be my partner, who's going to take my hand, and we're going to walk through life together, and have each other's back and love each other implicitly, and this and that. Be specific with your commands to the universe, and then you will get exactly what you want. But you put some vague shit out there like I want to be married, I want a husband. You'll get a husband and you'll be married, all right, but he'll be a piece of shit, and then you'll be in divorce court and stuck with 2 or 3 kids and can't get no money out the motherfucker because he on the street hiding out and working cash job somewhere. So bottom line for teen girls and young women hearing this, oh, I don't care if they give a thumbs down. I don't give a shit. It don't matter. It don't matter. Um, what you have to do is remember that you have the right to say no at any time to anybody for any reason whatsoever. Okay? Print that out, put it on your wall. Read it every day. Put it on the mirror in your bathroom. Read it every day. When you brushing your teeth, you washing your face, you putting on your makeup. It's gonna be right there. I need you to embed that, imprint that in your brain. Okay, and they say, it takes 21 days to develop a new habit. So you saying this is what you're gonna do for 21 days straight, it will become a habit where you say no and you feel so good about it, you will be surprised at what it does to your self-esteem and your self-confidence. You've got to have the nerve to say no. All right, you guys stop talking about Calvin. He gone. He gone. He gone. He gone. But so that's what I wanted to talk about today. I hope that this you know that this helps you guys, the young women who watch this video. And like I said, yeah, just put that up on your wall. Make it, like a little banner. You could do those at work or whatever on the computer. Print, because some of those they make the long sheets, the long paper, and Well, it is a quote. You know how I come up with stuff. This is a Deb quote. So, I hope this helps you guys. This was something, like I said, my throat chakra has been blocked all day because I've been holding these words in and feeling just this rage about how these guys are training other guys to use and hurt women. It's awful. It's absolutely disgusting. But this is, my goal here is to bring awareness so that you know what's really going on in the world. I'm not going to fill your head with kumbaya and flowers and, romantic visions of love. This is the reality of the society that we are living in, and this is worldwide. This is what women around the globe are facing. This mentality from men. Now, you got to get your game face on and be ready. Okay, you got to be ready. You got to do the damn thing. All right. I sure hope that this is beneficial to you. A lot of work went into this, but if you have any questions, feel free to write them about the video now, not advice questions. Feel free to put them, down below in the comments section. And if you have an advice question you want to submit, use the dating advice submission form on survivingdating.com, or at the top of the YouTube channel it says get advice. Just put your question on the form there and press submit, and I'll get it. If you have a topic suggestion for February, which is a day of video a day, February, we call it February around here, send it in to survivingdating@gmail.com, and I will put it add it to the list and strongly consider it. Thank you guys for coming on this Thursday night, Tough Topic Thursday. I'll see you again most likely over the weekend. Bye bye.